Hey everybody, happy Motivational Monday. Today I have another guest with us, Brian McDonald. Today's topic, we're going to talk about sales because obviously that's a hot
Yep.
topic that you're used to. You got a program that you guys sell right now, right? So,
Yep.
teaching the tactics and mindsets of how to use sales today. So, can you tell us a little bit about what got you into sales in the first place?
When I graduated from college, I moved out to the Chicago area, and I was just thrown into sales. Right? It was a company hired me because of something I did in college, and they threw me in a sales position. It was a packaging company, and I had worked at a box manufacturing plant, so they thought that was relevant background to throw me into sales, selling that stuff, and my sales career started.
So, were you doing cold call, like door knocking, or were you doing phone calls, or?
So I had a client base that I had to grow, as well as cold call and door knock brokers that are reselling the products that we sell. So
Got it.
all the above, man.
Would you recommend that sales style today?
No, actually, what I'm focused on is relational selling. Right. So cold calling, I believe, is almost dead. Right, because of the reactions that people give to it. There's a new kind of cold calling, building through social networks, which I classify as a cold call, but it's not necessarily a cold call. It's more relationship building. It's kind of the cold call has kind of changed, right? So I'm reaching out to people on like LinkedIn and things like that, cold, but I'm building a relationship with them.
So you warmed up those leads a little bit before giving them a ring.
Yeah, they get to see my profile. They get to see something about me prior to engaging. So that's why I don't call it a cold call, because it's a little bit warmer. Buyers are way more informed than in the past, so they're getting a bunch of information. They're getting to know you first, and then buying in. So the world has moved to relational selling almost completely. The only way that cold calls work is a robo calling, and you have to use large numbers to actually get through to somebody.
And then even after the robot gets them on the call, it's usually a person following up, correct? To actually do the sale.
Yeah, but really, everybody knows it's a robocall, right?
So when you are looking to, you said you go on their profile like LinkedIn or their Facebook and they can see you already have some engagement, but do you use video as a platform to like get people to know you, or do you share videos? Does your program have any videos in it?
So program has lots of videos. We do a lot of video-based training to duplicate ourselves, and I do videos on myself. So not as good as you do, right? But but I do use video because of that. It's people get to know who I am and what I'm about, and learn that I am genuine rather than just trying to sell you something. And that's really what I'm trying to communicate to people.
Got it. So when we were talking earlier, you had mentioned that your sales program isn't so much about the tactics, but more so the mindset. Is that correct?
So our mantra is mindset always trumps technique. There could be a sales tactic that both you and I learn, but because of the mindset or the person that you are, your way of being, it works for you, but for some reason it's not working for me. But the tactic always works, right? So it's how we approach the tactic and what's going on inside of us is what helps produce the result of that tactic. So for instance, I had a client once, and current client, who was doing a specific tactic, and she's like, this wasn't working. And what we actually got into a conversation was about her being, and what we actually drove down to real quickly was she walked around the world not feeling worthy, that she was worth it, and when we changed that perspective, she doubled her business in 6 months.
Wow.
6 months.
Wow.
In 6 months. So it's the one thing that's missing from what I see, and we believe in raw sales training, is they teach the tactics, but not the mindsets and the way of being. Because if I don't, you've got a business. If you don't change as a person, you're not going to grow your business, right? So how do you focus on both of those things at once? And all top 1% income earners work more on, I don't want to say more. work equally on the EQ side as they do on the tactic side. And EQ, I mean mindsets, way of being, things like that.
So when you get on a new client,
Mm-hmm.
and do you have like something that you start them off with to see where their mindset is at, like questions or?
100%.
So how does that work?
Clients do the very same thing every single time. And we have them do a video and a handout that basically says, have them describe what they think a salesperson looks like give me some attributes. And then we ask them, give us attributes of yourself and give us attributes of yourself as a salesperson. And what you always, well, I won't always, that's an absolute, what you typically see 90+% of the time is they have a negative connotation of a salesperson out there in the world, and then they have a negative connotation of themselves as a salesperson, and operating from that point of view is defeating, right? And they have to see that at first, because if you don't see that, the tactics aren't going to work, and you're not going to make the improvement that we know people can improve upon. This doesn't matter if you're making $25,000 a year or $700,000 a year. The narrative that you tell yourself about where you're at in life is exactly what you're going to get. So change the narrative, change your life.
Change your narrative and change your life.
Change your narrative, change your life. Really, that's what it is. Top 1% income producers actually consistently create new narratives and strategies in their business to get to wherever they want to go. And that's their secret, right? We believe that every business is unique, and how do we leverage the uniqueness of that business to create growth in the marketplace? There's a company, a prospect that we're working with right now, that what we're going to do is we're going to go in and figure out where their biggest bottlenecks are between sales and operations. Because if you can put a lot of sales through into the top of the sales funnel, but you have a hard time getting them out, you don't have a sales problem, you have an operational problem, right? And you need to make those, and the sales process leaks into operations. So we're going in to figure out where are those bottlenecks and how do we actually help remove them so they can grow sales.
What's a common bottleneck you see like again and again?
No clear sales strategy. So there's a real estate attorney that I've been working with that has 5 or 6 different ways to make money, and he's very reactive to it, right? So something comes in, and that I can make $250 over there. I'll go over there and do it. Someone pays me $150. I'll go over there and do it. And he's wondering why I can't grow the business. And what it is he has no sales strategy. The strategy is, let me just react to whatever's coming in. So you can't predictably produce results. So what we've done is we've honed it down to, here's 2 pieces of real estate transactions that you can do. And if you push through, you can push throughput through these, if you only focus on them through, and you can get a lot more sales than go out of here. And he gets 100% of the transaction here, where if somebody's calling up and saying, hey, go do a real estate closing for me, they're making $500, paying him $250. He's doing the real estate transaction for himself. He's making $500.
Right.
So he can't grow sales because he's not focused and he hasn't defined who's my client profile, what can I sell them, and what's my strategy to go after them.
So your perfected client, once they're done with your process and everything, would you say they know who their client is, they have a service that they're providing for that client, and they have a sales team that is motivated and knows what they're doing to sell that product?
Yep, and the sales team can come in and predictably say, here's what I'm producing, here's what's going to be produced, and here's why it's going to be produced. And sales meetings are gone from an hour to 15 minutes. The way you see the world makes you take specific actions, which makes you drive specific results. It will change the way you exist in the world, and not just this woo-woo, right? It's like the way you show up, the way you wake up every day. It's like, wow, I'm a different person. You start thinking of taking different actions. You start things that you would never thought you've done before. Communication is only 7% words. Everything else is body language and tonality, right? Everybody watching here is reading our tonality and how we're saying it, and they're judging us by that, not necessarily by what we're saying.
What is like one big key takeaway for our viewers that are just starting a new business? What would be the thing that you tell them that just really sticks out for you the most, that you see most entrepreneurs who are just starting out failing to do so?
Be very clear on what your offer is to the marketplace. Because what it will do is it will help people focus, right? If this is what my offer is, and it's it can be articulated and it's very clear to a prospect, for the prospect to say, yes, that's me, or no, that's not me. It almost has to be polarizing, and the better you form that offer, the faster you will go. The mind works in a very interesting way, is that the wider and more general things are, the less we can detect them. Where the more narrow and focused we are, the faster we can detect them. So that's what you want to do for prospects. If your offer is very pinpoint on your prospect profile, the prospect profile, and say, yes, I want that, or no, I don't. And you want them to do that as fast as possible. It's kind of like, last time you bought a car, within like 3 days of buying it, you saw it everywhere, right?
Oh, for sure.
That's what I'm talking about. That's where the mind works. It's like, right, this is in your path, and you want them to see it fast. So I would say work on your offer. That would be the most important thing, because we run across a lot of people that have these, especially like financial advisors. Well, who can you help? Anybody that needs help. Well, that's great, right? Everybody's a prospect, man. That's horrible. So
cool. Well, I'm going to leave your description in the box below so people can reach you if they have questions for you. Once we have the program fully up and running, we can get that link down below as well.
Yeah, that'd be great, man.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next Monday.
Thanks.